All right, everyone, we should be live on 3 different platforms, YouTube, Twitch, and Odyssey at the moment. Give me a moment to make sure that's actually the case. Got to make sure that Odyssey is going up here. Takes a minute. Yes, I believe it is. Okay, we're going to be responding to Beijing Biden, who will be live at sometime in the future. We're not 100% sure when. Got my tab open over here. Let me shorten that up. Yeah, there we go. That's much better. Wardrose. Yeah, okay, that makes no sense. I'm going to refresh this because we never know. Sometimes it goes live, sometimes it doesn't. And we should be getting audio from it, so no worries. But keep in mind, Biden's audio will be lower than mine. We're live everywhere. I'm in my comfy robe. I kind of wanted to ignore this, but I'm like, well, he's going to talk about the Build Back Better nonsense. And, you know, that means that he's going to ramble about the infrastructure bill. By the way, we will also cover a little bit of that briefly before Biden goes live. We will be pausing throughout in order to react to him because, you know, nobody's tuning in to watch Biden. I think they're tuning in to watch me at this point. There's over 500 people cross-platform actually tuning in at the moment. But the infrastructure bill has been parsed down. They're expecting it to pass, but I'm not 100% sure that it will. Here's the problem. In order to appease Manchin, Sinema, et al., they had to cut the bill down from $3.5 trillion to $1.75. The problem is that now it may not pass in the leftoid-controlled part of the House, where you only need, I think, 4 or 5 Democrats to defect. It's like you only need one person to defect in the Senate. In the House, it's, you know, a little bit less close, but AOC has already signaled that she will vote no. That might be just an on-principle sort of thing. She's like, well, I won't vote for it because it doesn't have enough, you know, it doesn't have a tax on cow farts, I guess. So, you know, it's not enough for her. Super chats, by the way, are enabled. If you're on Twitch, I can't do that yet because I haven't been invited to be an affiliate, but that'll probably come fairly soon. On YouTube and on Odyssey, I will be checking the chats there. I've got like fucking 4 windows open here, so bear with me because I'm low tech. I'm a boomer. Chasing my liberty at work. Bought that Shiba too. What alt tech pays the best? Started YouTube, but wanted an alt site for income too. I'd use them all. That's what I'm doing. Rumble, BitChute, Odyssey, Minds. There's also Brighteon. There's PeerTube. There's a bunch of them. IB Rippenham. I make noises with my rear end. That's what Biden does on the economy on a regular basis. Zim the Despot. You've mentioned being a Fallout fan a few times. What's your thoughts on the classic Fallout games and Fallout New Vegas? New Vegas is fine. Glitch City, even more than Fallout 3, I suppose. The original Fallout games don't really resemble the Bethesda era games, though. I don't know. I want an open world first-person shooter. I realize it's not as canon-based. It's not as RPG-ish. That's fine. I just wish they would put more RPG elements into it. I have hope for Fallout 5 because Bethesda, between 3 and 4, did listen to the mod community. They clearly looked at the mods and what people wanted, and they adapted Fallout 4 as the result of that. They clearly looked at those mods. If they do the same for Fallout 5, it'll be pretty impressive. F YouTube 10.5. Sup, Daddy? I got it on Shiba, I hear. I got 21 million Sheebs. Excellent. Brian Kenny, 4.99. No comment, thank you. Curtis Thompson, what's your bet on the Taiwan issue? I think that if Taiwan is smart, they'll have a Second Amendment style thing and just arm everyone. I made an exclusive about that a couple days ago. They should create an armory system, and they should make sure that every citizen is armed. Since they already have a citizenry that's militarized, technically speaking, like Switzerland, all they need to do is give them more weapons. The Chinese won't dare to invade. Josh Eternal, what's your reaction on the Rumble and Locals merger? That will be a main video tomorrow, so stay tuned. I do support it, generally speaking. Polly P. My butt's been wiped by freshly printed Biden dollars. Yeah, he's not giving anyone any dollars at this point. Adam THM. Do you think Free State Movement 2 should happen? Oregon went Biden by 500,000 votes. If Cali Republicans flee there, it would be easier to flip. Yeah, moving around tactically makes sense. I think the Free State Project, though, in the libertarian sense, should focus on not just New Hampshire, but Vermont and Maine. We need a 3-state solution. Doc Holliday, no God troll comments today. Lol. Keep up the great work, Sticks. Thank you. Aldrich Xavier, what's this about Sheebs and Doges? Semoids to the moon. Never heard of that one. Sebastian Monroe bought Shiba earlier this month, now sitting on 25 million. Yes, the other day I bought 17 million Shiba coins. And I don't regret it at all. Dr. Zeodin, so glad I caught you live. Let's go, Brandon. Yeah, it'd be funny if the press corps started chanting, let's go, Brandon, or something like that. Stranger things have happened. Let me check Odyssey here really quick. Yeah, there's no super chats there yet. By the way, I am aware to those watching on Odyssey that if I link my bank account, I can accept US dollars as a payment there. But honestly, I like the LBC. I've got, technically I got hundreds of thousands of LBC, and it's approaching, I think, 5 cents. Let me check the actual value here really quickly. LBC is at 0.04, 0.046. And, if they ever get pumped, if anyone ever did an LBC pump and dump plan or something like that, I'd be a millionaire. That's not even an exaggeration. That could happen. I'm waiting. I'm holding. I'm not selling anything. Not at the moment. Let's see. President Joe Biden. It's true. I personally wiped Polly P's rear end. Musa, thoughts on Assad? Would you say he's not actually a brutal dictator? Well, he is, but I mean, what's the alternative? Tribal warfare? That's one alternative. ISIS? That's the other one. That's what Biden and Obama and people like that want. ISIS rule. Mark Giudetti. Sticks, run for governor of Vermont. Enough clankers will register in Vermont. If you do that, you couldn't lose. I actually jokingly ran by making one YouTube video years ago, and I still got 16 votes, which I think put me in 3rd place among the other category, if I remember correctly. My name was actually in the official register, and it was just a joke run. It wasn't even like I wasn't even being serious at the time. Craig Meister, you ever coming back to America? Of course I will. Aaron Bennett, will be near Great Depression shortages if things continue. And what will be the political fallout for the Democrats if that does happen? Well, they get punished. Probably not as much as they deserve, but still quite a lot. They definitely deserve some punishment at the moment. Got my lime drink, of course. It's not early enough in the day for caffeine. You got to have some citrus. You don't want scurvy. Like Biden probably has. All he can eat, every food he eats goes through the blender. So, chasing my liberty. Most recent videos is me feeding squirrels by hand. Any tips on my content is appreciated. Plan to travel the world after my degree in finance. Well, you're doing pretty well if you get a degree in that. Keep in mind, a degree in finance means that you've absorbed the knowledge, the opinions of other people in finance. It doesn't make it objective. Go with your gut. Hone your instincts. Polly P, President Joe Biden, it felt good too. Joe Biden couldn't wipe anyone's ass right now. By the way, hello to everyone on Twitch who there's roughly 70 people watching actually already there. I'm sorry, I can't do the super chat thing on Twitch because I'm not yet an affiliate. I've got to do 10 fucking things to do that. Fender3 saying, start the video. Well, I can't start it. I have to wait until they start it. I can refresh it, though. Make sure that it hasn't actually started and just glitched out. That can happen. The White House is not tech literate. If you thought things under Donald Trump were a little bit glitchy and iffy sometimes, oh boy, Biden's people don't know what the fuck they're doing. Josh Eternal, Trump is DS. That's why he let Julian Assange hang. Well, Assange may actually end up getting released. There are a huge number of people pushing for it at the moment. And there's really no case against him. I mean, he clearly did nothing wrong. The U.S. is threatening, I guess, to send him to Australia if he's released and into their custody. Yeah, here's my contribution to your campaign funds. This world needs more YouTuber politician lulls. It could happen. It is possible. By the way, yes, let's go, Brandon. Fuck Joe Biden. Jordan Dennis, big up sticks, shout out spoons. Yes, and keep in mind, in only 1 week, I will be debating Nick Fuentes as well. He is now in favor of a Chinese-style nationalism, so it's going to be interesting. Make sure to tune in. That's going to be on the Kill stream. This is a big one. I think Odyssey is going to be, if I remember correctly, promoting it as well. It's going to be, it'll be sort of like the old blood sports. I imagine that it'll be a little bit more dicey than when I talk to somebody like, fucking Joel Davis or something. He gets a little bit more fiery. Doc Holliday, what's your take on Beijing Biden's frozen fist clench on CNN town hall? Well, most people say it's because he wanted to be cornholio. And true, he is nuts and, doped up on various substances. So, I mean, it's kind of apt. I think he just had a dementia moment. He didn't know what to do with his hands because he forgot that he had them. Isn't it interesting to have a president that's literally demented? Isn't it slightly concerning? There are some people that aren't concerned by this. There is a segment of the population, however small, that still strongly supports Joe Biden. Some of them just because he has a D after his name, but other people, they genuinely don't see the problem. They actually think he's doing a good job. I think that's a fairly small proportion of the U.S. population, but it does exist. Big Moose, have you seen Max Blumenthal's coverage of the U.S. Accusation of Uyghur crisis? Do you think the camps are real? Well, I haven't been over there to see whether there are actual concentration camps for the Uyghur Muslims, but I can believe it. China has a long track record of enslaving people. It's how their empire first was built, was basically on slavery. There's no reason to believe that they would change a good thing when they got it going. Dr. Zeodin, we are the clankers. However, no clank from our beloved demon, 666. Yeah, I don't have a spoon at the moment. I'm like Scott Adams. I do, however, have citrus. Sebastian Monroe, on my recent trip, I learned that we live in circles and spirals and are drawn to patterns ever since we learned them in our youth. I made art on VR. Interesting. EpicMan004, do a parody song of Hendrix's Hey Joe with Hey Alec. That's a funny idea. Triggers McNickers, have you heard of the aristocrat effect applying the marginalized to the marginalized, where if you treat a group as infallible, they will act worse than their supposed inferiors? Yeah, makes sense. Oh, here comes Joey. And by the way, Maddie Ice 316, working in a college, liberal Ohio. No, I can't. I've got to listen to Joe. Sad.
Today, I'm pleased.
Don't worry, I'll get to the super chats in a moment.
After months of tough and thoughtful negotiations, I think we have a historic. I know we have a historic economic framework. It's a framework that will create millions of jobs, grow the economy, invest in our nation and our people, turn the climate crisis into an opportunity and put us on a path not only to compete, but to win the economic competition for the 21st century against China and every other major country in the world. It's fiscally responsible. It's fully paid for. 17 Nobel Prize winners in economics have said it will lower the inflationary pressures on the economy.
Including Krugman, the one who thought a Great Depression would start if Trump was elected and thought that right now we'd be booming. By the way, look at Kamala in the background here. Look at her body posture. She doesn't know whether she's his guard or the president of the United States.
Over the next 10 years, it will not add to the deficit at all. It will actually reduce the deficit.
That's a lie.
I want to thank my colleagues in the Congress for their leadership. We spent hours and hours and hours over months and months working on this. No one got everything they wanted, including me. But that's what compromise is.
He didn't get a multi-million-dollar ice cream fund. I feel very sorry for this dude.
That's consensus. And that's what I ran on. I've long said compromise and consensus are the only way to get big things done in a democracy, important things done for the country. I know it's hard. I know how deeply people feel about the things that they fight for. But this framework includes historic investments in our nation and in our people. Any single element of this framework would fundamentally be viewed as a fundamental change in America. Taken together, they're truly consequential. I'll have more to say after I return from the critical meetings in Europe this week. But for now, let me lay out a few points.
Now, is he going to brag about the IRS expansion or anything like that? I doubt it, because nobody wants it. We'll go to a few super chats here. Matty Ice 316, working in a college liberal Ohio town this week, went into a gas station this morning and saw "Let's Go Brandon" all over the bathroom wall. Haha. Keep up the good work, Sticks. Yes, make sure that you don't break the law when you are graffitiing bathroom walls. Although, I don't discourage it. Doc Holliday, your take on the fist clench was worth another 5. Thank you very much. Brett Werdersheim, that's about all. God fucking speed. Ultimate mashups. I like pineapple on my pizza, and I like my steak medium rare. Just to be clear. And then we've got Mr. Wonderful. 40% of this goes to censorship-loving Google. Yikes. I think it's actually 30%, but get to Biden here.
We face, and I apologize for saying this again, we face an inflection point as a nation.
He uses that term every time he wants to drive a point home. Inflection point.
For most of the 20th
Meaningless.
century, we led the world by a significant margin because we invested in our people. Not only in our roads and our highways and our bridges, but in our people, in our families. We didn't just...
That's another lie. We actually led the world because of the Homestead Act and because of laissez-faire economics. And because we happened to be the first to develop the bomb and massively nuclear energy. But he's not going to tell you that it was mainly private individuals. And the reason we've led the world for the last 20 years is because of the internet. Again, as free market as you can get. Aaron Bennett, idea. What do you think about multiple states setting up individual social media video sites to circumvent Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube? And they can compete with each other and would be subject to the Constitution. I'd rather have a situation where some third world country goes full on ANCAP and says, set up here and there will be no censorship or anything and you can do whatever you want. Like, El Salvador with their hydrothermal. They could set up all sorts of sites if they really wanted to.
Build an interstate highway system. We build a highway to the sky.
Bring back the bomb. That's what I'm talking about.
And we won. We're also among the first to provide access to free education for all Americans, beginning back in the late 1800s. That decision alone to invest in our children and their families was a major part of why we were able to lead the world for much of the 20th century. But somewhere along the way, we stopped investing in ourselves, investing in our people.
No, somewhere along the way, we started taxing people up the ass and trying to tell them what they could do at all times. That's the real problem. By the way, Big Moose, have you seen Kalinski's debate with Razor Fist? Yes, Razor Fist beat the shit out of Kyle Kalinski, which isn't hard. But people believe that Kalinski won because he simply has a larger audience overall. Reaciona, Puerto Rico. How soon before Biden mentions Trump? Yeah, we'll see. Even odds, 50-50. Don't take a drink if Biden mentions Trump because, you might end up with alcohol poisoning if you do. You never know.
America is still the largest economy in the world. We still have the most productive workers and most innovative minds in the world. But we've risked losing our edge as a nation. Our infrastructure used to be rated the best in the world. Today, according to the World Economic Forum, we rank 13th.
I've turned up the Biden stream as much as possible.
We used to lead the world in educational achievement. Now the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development ranks America 35th out of the 37 major countries when it comes to investing in early childhood education and care. We know how our children start.
Send your children for more indoctrination, otherwise we'll fall behind the rest of the world. Inkling says cupcakes. Yes, I'm sorry about the audio. I didn't realize that it was not all the way up. Sorry about that.
Impact significantly.
Who cares what he says anyway, though?
We can't be competitive in the 21st century global economy if we continue this slide. That's why
Did he just say 20th century global economy? I'm pretty sure he did. Go back to that really quickly.
investing in early childhood education and care.
Or did he say 21st?
We know how our children start impacts significantly on how they'll finish. We can't be competitive in the 21st century global economy.
Oh, no, he said 21st. Okay.
Slide.
That was not a gaffe. That was me mishearing. I'm like George W. now. Big Moose, much of what he covers in his speeches is history. Yes, especially his dad and sometimes his mom. Epic Man 004. I saw an MSM headline saying that Pence is going to be a potential front runner in 2024. Putting our dislike of Pence in the MSM aside, is this true? He won't run. Pence knows better. Travis Brewster, Sticks, what app or wallet do you use for your digital currencies? I use Exodus.
That's what I've said all along.
Because it's the easiest. I'm a boomer.
We need to build America from the bottom up and the middle out, not from the top down.
If we want to build it from the middle out, why not just give everyone a bunch of beer? And then they'll be much happier with the Biden economy because they'll be too drunk to care.
With the trickle-down economics that's
I've been built from the middle out.
I can't think of a single time when the middle class has done well that the wealthy haven't done very well. I think of many times, including now, when the wealthy, the super wealthy, do very well.
I feel wealthy. Got my Budweiser here. Got my keg.
That's why I propose the investments Congress is now considering in two critical pieces of legislation. Positions I ran on as president, positions I announced when I laid out in a joint session of Congress what my economic agenda was. These are not about left versus right.
Now, can I ask this? He has not yet addressed any actual portion of this bill. Why wouldn't you want to brag about what's in it? Is it because you sniped out all of the parts that were reasonably good? So the IRS probably gets expanded still. The SEC still probably tries to crack down and corporatize crypto. Great for me, really bad for anyone that does mining. You've eliminated the community college provision, which was the one provision actually that kind of sort of made sense in some ways. Parental leave has been shaved down to basically nothing. What's left in the bill? AOC says she's not even going to vote for it. You get Manchin aboard, you lose several House members, you can't pass the bill. Pelosi won't even bring it up if it looks like it won't pass. She's already vowed that because she doesn't want to have egg on her face. She'd rather Biden get it. Brando Commando, Manchin told Biden to scrap the IRS expansion proposal in the $1.75 trillion package, according to The Hill, so if it passes, it won't be in there. So we've got some good news. One of the worst proposals, I guess, will be scrapped. Bendy Trees, hello there, I remember you. Pro-Biden co-workers who tease me about my Trump support are approaching me with questions and getting red-pilled before my eyes. Oh, hand out those pills like fucking candy. Oh, yes. I know that feel. Big Moose, you and Kulinski made fair points. Love to see you both have a discussion. He won't talk to me. Kulinski has made it clear. He was in a live stream once and he was asked if he'd debate me, and he referred to me as a Holocaust denier and dismissed me. That's really just he's a coward. He wouldn't want to talk to me because he knows they would lose. That's the long and short of it. It's the way a lot of leftoids act.
Or moderate versus progressive. Or anything else that pits Americans against one another.
And he's like a syndicated radio sellout too. He's not new tech. He's not independent. He gets paid for what he does, and he doesn't get paid by his viewers.
This is about competitiveness versus complacency. Competitiveness versus complacency. It's about...
a new slogan is born. Remember, anytime that Biden says the same thing more than once, he wants it to stick in your head because he wants it to be like, tweet-worthy. He wants it to be a meme. Competitiveness versus complacency. Complacency is sticking with the same globalistic neoliberalism that's not worked for the last 50 years. Competitiveness is what Trump was getting us through. That's what was making us competitive. Aliza, right now, I'm enjoying Contentions with God. Thanks. Yes, that was a very good work overall and very, very humorous at times as well.
Expanding opportunity, not opportunity denied.
Come on, man.
Leading the world. Or letting the world pass us by. Today,
I love how he tries to do the Reagan thing. So he'll do like the uplifted voice thing and pound the podium or something like that. And he expects people to sort of remember it. He stands upright, blah, blah, blah. It's like it just washes over your back like water because the dude doesn't know how to speak. And by the way, he was very well spoken as a senator. You can't say that as a senator, he wasn't one of the better speakers actually in the chamber. As VP, he was sort of the gaffe master, but that was, I think, kind of an act to counterbalance Obama's seriousness. But now he's just demented. It's nuts. Big Moose, would you ever go on Jimmy Dore? Yeah, I'd talk to Jimmy Dore. He's one of the few leftoids that actually has a few brain cells that still fire. So, yeah, definitely above the mental level of Kulinski. Denine S, do you think that OSHA mandate for weekly testing will pass? Well, I mean, it doesn't need to pass because it's not a bill. It's an executive order. Will it stand up in the courts? I don't believe it will, but it takes the courts a very long time to get through things. So expect it to be at least temporarily the law of the land. By the way, we're almost at 10 BLUs. That is 10 Biden loser units. So 300 viewers is one BLU. If we're just shy of 3,000 now. We've got almost as many people watching as are watching the live stream with Biden, by the
Democratic
way.
colleagues,
we're just behind him.
Framework.
Let's catch up. Share it out
Build Back
quick.
Better initiative. And here's how it will fundamentally change the lives of millions of people for the better.
I've got a cat. Biden doesn't.
Millions of you are in the
I'm better than
so-called
him.
sandwich generation.
Come on, man.
Who feel financially squeezed by raising a child and caring for an aging parent. About 820,000 seniors in America and people with disabilities have applied for Medicaid, and they're on a waiting list right now to get home care. They need some help. They don't have to be kicked out of their homes. But
we've got to pay more money. I'll totally take it from my billionaire donors. I'm not going to take it from you. Like every other political incarnation for the last 50 years. No, I won't take it from the middle class or small businesses or entrepreneurs. I'll take it from the people that paid me to be here. Luke, well, let's go. Reagan once said that government is made up of planners, and the more the plans fail, the more the planners plan. Failure is never a planner's fault. They just need more planning power over others. Yes, it's a good point. That is how central planning works. That's why China has problems. Oh boy, is their bubble going to explode in their face. Alien Xenomorph, really enjoying the Styx hoodie that I bought off MicahCurtis.com, man. Glad you went with him over Redbubble or some other site. Yes, there is merch available. Link in the description, of course. Although that's not my site. It's probably auxiliary or something like that. It's fine. We even now have more people watching than are watching Biden, which isn't a surprise. By the way, you will notice I have not voted down the stream. I refuse to do that until I've heard him for a little while to hear if he has anything intelligent to say. I know it's not likely, but you know, I give people a chance. I'm a merciful God.
They need a little help getting around. Having their meals made.
Just a little help.
They don't want to put them in nursing homes.
They need a little help, like, you know, $1.7 trillion of help. Just a little bit. Can we be a little bit more merciful here, please?
Not because of the cost, but because it's a matter of dignity. They want to stay in their homes. But it's hard. You're just looking for an answer so your parents can keep living independently with dignity.
Yeah, most millennials are still living with their fucking parents, Biden. What the fuck are you talking about? We've all got parents that are aging. You know, the millennial generation. They're in their, fucking late 50s, 60s, whatever. A lot of millennials are still living with them. They don't even have the ability to get a job because you fucked the economy up. Trump is the first person in a generation to actually attempt to solve the problem, and you've reversed course, causing the problem. Shortages, inflation, and so forth. What the hell are you talking about? How the hell does this have anything to do, by the way, with infrastructure? We always call this the infrastructure bill. What infrastructure is in it? I want to see line item. What bridges will be built? What highways are going to be maintained, expanded, improved, or whatever? It's probably like a tenth of the bill.
For millions of families in America, this issue is the most important issue they're facing. It's personal. So here's what we're going to do.
Dealing with an elderly relative, Biden knows a lot about that. Aaron Bennett, if Obama is campaigning for the governors in New Jersey and Virginia, the Democrats are in serious trouble, especially with the former. The mere fact that in a state like New Jersey, that I think Hillary won by almost 30 points, they would have to actually defend the gubernatorial incumbency there. Talk about a stinging rebuttal against their policies. The Grizzly, hey Styx, what do you think the outcome of the Rittenhouse trial will be? How bad do you think the left will spurg from the verdict? He will be found, I believe, not guilty because he clearly is. number one. Number two, don't read too much into the judge's decision the other day with regards to terminology used in the trial. I made an exclusive about that, so check me out on BitChute, Minds, Odyssey, or Rumble if you want to get my full opinion on that. Big Moose, what's the controversy about you and the Holocaust? Well, Leftoids took a clip of a 2013 era video out of context years and years ago to attack me back when I was skyrocketing. In order to try to get people that I guess were fence sitting from supporting me. It didn't work, but they still post it now. It's like they've got a picture of me back when I was really, really skinny in the black wife beater and everything. They still recycle that as though it was made yesterday. I'm like, I wish I was that thin, I guess. Guardian, Biden expectation, build back better. Biden reality, build back bearer. Yeah, lots of bare shelves and stuff like that. A crafty Huragok, Sticks cat for president. By the way, just a moment here. What is it? What's wrong? I couldn't hear that. Oh, excellent. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, just a little bit of positive news there. Positive, as opposed to every economic policy of Joe Biden. By the way, yes, my cat for president, although my cat was not born in the United States and cannot be president. Probably be more qualified than Biden anyway. A cat from the Netherlands, still a better president. Thomas, hey Sticks, question. What's your thought on exorcisms? I think that they're nonsensical. You're not possessed by demons. You're mentally ill or high or something like that.
This is for seniors.
We'll listen
so families
to Joe.
Can get help from well-trained, well-paid professionals to help them take care of their parents at home, to cook meals for them, to get their groceries for them.
Most millennials are already cooking for their parents. Yeah, microwave dinners probably. Simply, they don't have anything else to do, Joe. All they do is they shit post about cryptocurrency and play video games all day because you robbed them of the ability to get a job. And the educational system sucks ass and didn't prepare them for jobs.
Help them get around. Help them live in their own home with the dignity they deserve to be afforded. Quite frankly, what we found is that this is more popular or as popular as anything else we're proposing because the American people understand the need. It's a matter of dignity and pride for our parents.
Now, keep in mind that this particular component of the bill, if it's so massively popular, could be passed as a single issue. Any of the components of this omnibus pork barrel spending bill could be parsed from the rest and passed individually. The reason they're not doing that is because of a large proportion of what they want in the bill is being masked by a small proportion of things that they're marking as popular and must pass. So, hey, we're going to keep people in their homes and we're going to give tax relief to the lower class. Well, that's popular. So then you have tax increases for the middle class and pork barrel spending and go nowhere projects, a bridge to nowhere sort of horse shit. You parse it in with the bill. You combine them together. You give it you earmark it at 1.75 trillion now, and hazarding its ability to pass in the leftoid House, and then you call it a day. These people aren't doing their jobs. They're not even trying. Not even trying. Bendy Trees again. Yup, OG Spoon Clank member here. Will we ever get our long Yearn for Sticks Razor Fist mashup? I did actually have him in the 2018 midterms. He was one of the guests that I had aboard. This midterms, by the way, it'll be way better because now I know how to do screen sharing. So it's going to be a time. Oh, I'll be streaming for 3-4 hours probably during the midterms. Look forward to it. It'll be multi-platform just like this. I'm saying, I don't understand people that compare you to John Lennon. Looking at your old thumbnails, you'd fit in with the Ramones. Yes, I've been compared to Joey Ramone as well as other random people, often musicians. Let's see. I think there's one more here. Koos Kalkman. Just some support, Sticks. Great content. One question. Do you feel the situation in the Netherlands will get bad next week again? I don't know. I'm just going to stay at home anyway. I've got my stockpile of food, which now has like 30 rolls of toilet paper too, is formidable. So I don't care if there's like rioting in the streets. I don't have to go anywhere for a couple of months. I can tough it out. Big Moose, is it okay if you post the link to the Holocaust vid? I'd actually like to see it. Well, that was taken down years ago. That's why they take it out of context, because the original's not there. It's just like when they have that picture of me with the Hitler mustache. That was a satire about Google being like the Gestapo. They take that picture and they put the anti-feminist screed below it and pass it off as though it was real. And I guess this is a win to them or something. Inquisitor Jack, I wish I could afford to buy my own home on my engineering salary. Screw the establishment for screwing my generation over hard, fast, and continuously. Make do with less, learn more skills, and you will succeed. Don't worry, Inquisitor Jack. Meme Machine, 199, no comment, thank you. Corey Gibson, could care less about Biden, but you showing Razorfist the proper way to cook and eat steak was perfection. Yes, medium rare. Marinated all day first. Lots of onion. Ring O resident, take my money. Give me energy to achieve my goals. Buy a coffee with it in return or something. Here, you've got some spoon energy there. Yes, well, for $5, you can buy more than one coffee. Even in the Netherlands. Even in Amsterdam.
30 years ago, we ranked number 7 among the advanced economies in the world.
The infant economies of the world.
Know where we are today? We ranked 23rd. 23rd.
Now tell us about the educational rankings and about how critical race theory helps those.
7 to 23.
That's what I want to hear.
Once again, our competitors are investing, and we're standing still. Today, there are nearly 2 million women in America not working today simply because they can't afford childcare.
No, I think it's because the unemployment benefits that you're giving people are more lucrative than their jobs in many cases, Biden.
Typical family spends about $11,000 a year on childcare. Some
leftoids think that's a win.
$14,500 a year per child. We're going to make sure nearly all families earning less than $300,000 a year will pay no more than 7% of their income for childcare.
Horse fucking shit. Yeah, that's code for we're going to tax the middle class more, dude.
And for a family making $100,000 a year, that will save them more than $5,000 in childcare.
What are you talking about, Joe? And if a family is making like $250,000 a year, they can probably hire a maid or a babysitter or something. Just saying, like, you know, it's not out of my fucking price range to hire that if I wanted. What are you talking about? Dude, the dude's been, I think I know the problem. He was in the Senate since the 70s, right? So his idea of economics as being unconnected with his high salary and the fact that he gets a lot of the expenses paid by the taxpayer, like senators and stuff, they get a little card, they can pay for the food and shit and mileage and flights and stuff. They don't have to worry about that. He's out of the loop. He's been in politics for so goddamn long, and now, you know, his son makes $70,000 a print art. He doesn't know how he doesn't know what the situation on the ground is. He never even talks to anyone. No one wants to talk to him. Jason Static. When the sign language speaker speaks better than the president, you know it's a bad day. Hashtag spoon clank. Yes, I've noticed that. Meme Machine. What kind of media should I prioritize archiving? Videos and books, of course, but also plenty of songs. I have thousands of them. I swear that I paid for all those downloads. The Combat Mechanic. I remember you saying that you would not accept super chats because you wanted everyone's opinion heard equally. What changed your mind? In normal sense, if I was doing just a stream for stream's purpose, I wouldn't have super chats. If I'm answering questions and stuff like that, it's easier because, I mean, I've got 3,300 people watching. That was at peak a couple hundred more than Biden had watching him. There's no way for me as one person to respond to them all, and I would like to respond to the super chats. But if I respond to every chat, then it would just be me responding to chats, and I still wouldn't get to 90% of them. It would be impossible. I realized logistically I had no choice. Anno713, let's go, Brandon. Sheeb. Yoked Nick. Tarl, my brother from another mother. Glad to see you're doing well since MRU. Always watch for your channel in the AM. Here are funds for the energy drink. Yes, MRU. Very good high school, and thank you very much. I'll buy several monsters with this. By the way, the local Jumbo now has the white monsters available again, and it makes me happy. But these ones have to stay back here because it says 666. It's my emergency stash in case of zombies. Koos Kalkman, Sticks, isn't it weird we have to move to the old Eastern Europe countries to gain or get freedom? Yes, it is very strange how Eastern Europe now has arguably more freedom in some ways. Die Kursite, let's go, Brandon. German chapter. DJ Chimera. In Victoria, Australia, the psychopath premier is attempting to give himself powers that echo 30s Germany, 2 years of prison without any trial for no mask. Yeah, people need to stand up and use their voices to fight back. M Stealth GT3. Thanks for being part of my morning routine for the past 4 or so years. California still sucks and I want out. Clank. Yeah. You should move out of California. DJ Kevin Tracy, blacks for sticks. Yes, blacks, whites, and reds all over. Everyone clanks.
It's a fundamental game.
It unites us all.
And
Caffeine.
for our economy. As more parents, especially women, can get back to work and work in the workforce. I'm looking at a lot of significant press people in front of me. A lot of them are working
Significant
mothers.
press people.
They know what it costs. I remember when I got to the Senate,
I'm looking at lots of women in suits in front of me. You know what it costs to have a babysitter come in and rock the cradle.
lost my wife and daughter in an
What a
accident.
wacko.
My 2 boys. I started commuting 250 miles a day because I had my mom and my dad and my brother and my sister help me take care of my kids because I couldn't afford childcare and I was getting a serious salary, $42,000 a year.
To be clear, 42 grand a year back when he started his Senate career was a massive goddamn amount of money. That's like twice median. That's somewhat, I think, somewhat more than I would make adjusted for inflation. You could afford childcare, Joe, unless you're also spending your money on drugs, which you probably did, fine food, and every other yuppie fucking thing that everyone was buying in the 70s and the 80s. David S., possibly a new way to look at this. This spending bill is not about anything other than paying off the elderly to vote Democrat in 2022. Kind of smart, but wow, that is cynical. Yeah, but they already killed a bunch of them with the China virus, so I don't know if that'll help. Greg Palmer, will Trump's social media platform get traction? Yeah, it will. How much? I can't tell you. Will I get on board? Maybe, maybe not. I'll have to look at how it functions. I'm a psychopath. Him expanding the IRS is akin to when Bloomberg put 10 times the amount of meter maids on the street of New York City. Everyone, mostly low and middle class, getting fined like crazy. Apparently, that provision was removed. It was reported by a super chat earlier. That's one silver lining to the very dark cloud of this pork barrel bill. Homeschool dropout. I think most people won't involve themselves in politics until it actively messes with their lives. And it makes me think the vast majority that don't vote might vote this time around. I expect turnout could rise. Yeah, that's a good guess. Joshua Bryson, I thought his now wife Jill was his babysitter. He didn't need childcare. Yeah, but he says he couldn't afford it. He was too busy snorting lines.
We've also extended the historic middle-class tax cut. That's what I call it, middle tax cut for parents. That is the expanded child tax credit we passed.
You mean the child tax credit that Trump invented, Joe? He invented that idea. He doubled the child tax credit. You simply made it on the nose as opposed to back end. Nobody wants to acknowledge this.
With the American Rescue Plan. What that means is for folks at home, they're getting $300 a month for every child under the age of 6, $250 for every child under the age of 18. We're extending that for them. The money is already a life changer for so many working families. This will help cut child poverty in half this year, according to experts.
Well, that's interesting because when Trump passed it, it didn't cut child poverty by that much, but it was the same thing. It was just back end. You get more back in the tax return or pay less taxes, depending on your income, as opposed to getting a monthly check. So what's the difference? Oh, there is a difference. Yours can count as taxable income, I believe. There's a difference. Get a little bit of that back. Isaac Ott, hey Sticks, will you accept payment for an occult perspective on X Factor winner reveals world secret religion by Altian Childs? I think it would make an interesting occult video. I've never heard of that, but I can look into it. I can consider it. Wolf Better, what's your take on the Italian anti-fascists protests? Why isn't this happening in the U.S.? La gente comme noi non molen ma. I probably butchered the pronunciation. I support the protesters of all countries that are protesting lockdown fascism. That being said, it's not happening in the U.S. because in a lot of states, there's no lockdowns. In most states in the United States, things are back to normal. It's just like California and places like that.
But that's not all it does. It changes the whole dynamic for working parents. In the past,
come on, man.
If you paid taxes and had a good income, you could deduct under the tax code $2,000 per child from the taxes you owed. But how many families do you know, a cashier, waiters, healthcare workers, who never got the benefit of the full tax break because they didn't have that much to deduct.
That isn't exactly how deductions work, considering that it was top end. But yeah, this is Biden telling a half truth at this point economically.
And it wasn't refundable. So it either came off your tax bill or you
we
didn't
need a
get
fact
full
checker
credit.
in here, I think.
Why should somebody making $500,000 a year, or $150,000 or $200,000 a year get to write it off their taxes?
Well, people that make more pay more. Like when you get to the six-figure range, you're paying a shit ton of taxes, most of which is used to bomb little Afghani children. By the way, he hasn't stopped that either. If someone doesn't pay any taxes, it wouldn't make as much sense to give them a rebate because there's no taxes to pay, but I believe that they still would get that on the rebate. If I remember correctly, it was still top end. So it wouldn't matter. What are you talking about? Cools Kalkman, what am I doing here? Have they upped the dosage? Yeah, his dosage is at high levels today. He hasn't made too many mistakes. Mipro Koryoye, New Zealand, $5. Thank you very much. You got the little Yoda avatar there. Over 100 people watching on Twitch. Make sure to share out the channel because I want to get bigger on Twitch. I want to start doing more live streams there too. I might even do exclusives. I'm hyper competitive, motherfucker. Unlike Biden,
the people who need the help
he's just
even
demented.
more, they don't have that much tax to pay. They don't get the benefit, and they have the same cost of raising their children. 80% of those left out were working parents who just didn't make enough money. That's why in the American Rescue Plan, we didn't just expand the amount of the middle-class tax cut. We also made it refundable. This framework will make it permanently refundable, making sure that the families who need it get a full credit for it, in addition to those who are already getting full credit. They're going to make sure that every 3- and 4-year-old child in America will go to high-quality preschool. That's part of the
part of the bill is universal pre-K, which means that your kids can be indoctrinated for a few more years. But so many people now are using private schools and tutors that a large proportion of the population won't be subject to that propaganda. You know, they'll be taught about how to, hate yourself for your race and why Barack Obama is better than Jesus and all this other horse shit that they foist on people. Stormcrow 900. So Biden got elected senator in 1973 and Delaware paid him $42,000. Calculated for today's money is $259,480. Let's go, Brandon. Yes, yeah, inflation is a bad thing and it's picking up pace definitely at the moment. Oh my God, I can't afford childcare. I only made $250,000 this year. Oh, come on, dude. You can pay for you can pay for a live-in babysitter if you're making that kind of money. What the fuck are you talking about? Especially when you're a politician. You've got a meal card. You get fuel reimbursement. You get travel reimbursement. Everything's free. You can't make do with that kind of money and get a goddamn babysitter? That's beyond your budget? What are you spending the rest of your money on? Are you collecting bowling balls or something? BC, can we all appreciate how stunning and brave a person needs to be to agree to do sign language interpretation for Brandon? Today, they've got him doped up, obviously, because he's only made a few minor mistakes. He's doing better. Yeah, I'll give him a B+ by his standards. Renard Muldrake, 3 days left of spooky season. Make the most of it, everyone. Sticks, you are amazing. Oh, no. There's not 3 days left. There's 365 days left of spooky season. It never goes away. The ride never ends, dude. I'm a spooky. There's a skeleton inside me, just so everyone's aware. Marvin Mora, Sticks, how do you like your new place? It's bigger, it's got a yard, and the cats like it. So, yeah, it works. Mr. Cobblestone, what do you think about Trump going to Virginia to rally to support for Youngkin? Some Republicans on Twitter think he'll do more harm than good. I don't think so. A lot of people have already voted anyway.
The legislation I just brought up to the Congress. Studies show that when we put 3 and 4 years old in school, not daycare, school, we increase by up to 47% the chance that that child, no matter what their background, will be able to earn a college degree. As my wife Jill is in the back here, we always said.
These days, getting a 4-year college degree is like yesteryear getting a high school education. I'm like on the lower end of the totem pole. I dropped out of UVM. It didn't affect my career trajectory. I think that went well. But education, on paper, education-wise, I'm in the lower half, I guess.
Because any country that out-educates us is going to outcompete us.
I went to college.
You can finally take us from 12 years to 14 years of universal education in America. We also make investments in higher education by increasing Pell Grants to help students from lower-income families attend community colleges and four-year schools.
I got Pell Grants. See, the problem is when they up the Pell Grant, they'll just raise the tuition. It's not going to help the students. It's going to help the universities to make more money. This is his way of offsetting inflation as far as the universities getting their income.
And we invest in historically black universities, colleges, universities, HBCUs, minorities.
Historically black universities. They need extra money because, oh, well, he can't mention that because he'd probably, the White House official channel would be banned from YouTube if he mentioned the reasoning that he has behind that.
Serving institutions and tribal colleges to make sure every young student has a shot at a good paying job in the future. This framework extends tax credits to lower premiums for folks who are in the Affordable Care Act for another 3 years. For 4 million folks in the 12 states that haven't expanded Medicaid, all the rest have. This framework will enable you to get affordable coverage. And Medicare will now...
You'll be able to offset a very small proportion of your cost. Unless you have any assets, then you have to liquidate them first before it kicks in. The government's here to help you guys. It's here to help you fuck yourselves. BC, here sticks, have a fruit punch Rockstar on me. The best energy drink by far. I drank one Rockstar once, got sick to my stomach and said, fuck this. Too sugary. It's just like NOS, except for the sugar-free one. The sugar-free NOS was my favorite energy drink. I haven't been able to find them in years. These days I drink White Monster or I drink the 9 energy drinks. I've got them upside down, so they say 666.
Cover the cost of hearing aids and hearing checkups.
Oh, hearing aids will be covered. That'll be important for Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders.
This framework also makes the most significant investment to deal with the climate crisis ever happened. Beyond any other advanced nation in the world. Over 1 billion metric tons of emission reductions, at least 10 times bigger on climate than any bill that has ever passed before, and enough to position us for a 50 to 52% emission reductions by the year 2030.
Oh, yay, a reduction in industry. That'll be great. Now, China's emissions will rise catastrophically because all those industries will just go over there. Businesses will flee. That's what's been happening as we attack the energy sector. Dunine S, you say it will be good sign if Youngkin wins. What if he doesn't win, but the margins are close? That'd be good too, because they were expecting McAuliffe to win by 8 or 9 points. It won't be 8 or 9 points, I don't think. If McAuliffe manages to win, it'll be by a point or two. Scott Steiner, the world's greatest ring announcer. What do you think about Chick-fil-A and In-N-Out defying jab mandates and passports? The latter had multiple locations shut down by the health department. They should continue to ignore them. And then they should organize the workers, turn into a lobbying force. We used to cook burgers. Now we cook Joe Biden's ass.
And we'll do it in ways that grow the domestic industries, create good paying union jobs, address long-standing environmental injustices as well.
Injustice.
Tax credit to help people do things like weatherize their homes so they lose.
Right. By the way, Joe Biden kind of walking into a trap there, talking about weatherizing your homes. Right now, you can't even get equipment to do that if you have the money because of shortages. Joe, just to be clear, for New Englanders, it's almost November here. It's starting to get a bit cold. There's plenty of frost on the ground. You know, the leaves are all off the trees. Tax relief or whatever for weatherization is not going to make a difference if you don't have the supplies.
Use less energy, install solar panels and develop clean energy products, and help business produce more clean energy. And when paired with the bipartisan infrastructure bill, we will truly transform this nation. Historic investments in passenger rail. I know everybody says, oh, Biden's a rail guy. That's true. But passenger rail and freight rail and public transit.
Joe Biden loves to run a train. He does this with Buttigieg regularly.
It's going to make take hundreds of thousands of vehicles off the road, saving millions of barrels of oil. Everybody knows, all the studies show, if you can get from point A to point B an electric rail, you won't drive your car. You'll take the rail.
If you get from point A to point B on a train, you won't also, in addition to that, drive your car. The extreme mentality of Joe Biden. I think that one encapsulates the Biden presidency. The gaffes, the misspeaking, and the what the fuck did he just say? Yes.
Service. We also learned that in most major cities in America, minority populations, the jobs they used to have in town, they're now out of town. Roughly 60% of the folks, they don't have vehicles, so they need to have a means to.
60% of non-white people don't have cars? I'm learning a lot from listening to Joe Biden. I'm not sure that it's true. It's a little bit like reading Harry Potter, but I'm learning stuff anyway. I guess we've got that in our favor. Murph's Appliance Repair. Good morning, Sticks. Been a fan for a long while now. Thank you for what you do. Boise, Idaho school board elections and city elections looking good. Make sure to show up.
To get out of town, to their jobs, to be on time. This will do that, like it did for Detroit. 90
for Detroit. Yes, I need a car so I can get to my corner to whore myself out. I need a car so I can get to the alley so I can sell some crack. Dude, Detroit is worthless. And think, Detroit's better than Chicago at this point with Lightfoot and all of these others.
5% of the
840. In before leftoids, by the way, construe that as a racial remark. No, the cities have been destroyed. They're non-functioning. Nobody goes there. Nobody goes to Detroit as a tourist anymore. It was the Paris of the West. Now it's a pile of shit because of leftoids like you overspending. Sparky, keep up the good work, Sticks. Thank you. Carl Lockwood, working at a sushi bar, listening to the live stream. Customer complained about people not supporting the president. Guess who's getting wasabi in their roll? Keep it up, Sticks. No, that's rewarding them. Wasabi is like the best part. I hope it's gas station sushi. Then they'll get their comeuppance later in the El Baño. Nate B, I love New England. I'm living in New York City hellhole with weekend house in rural southeast Connecticut where I burn wood and chill. Connecticut's not really New England. We don't consider it that up in northern New England. Massachusetts, it's barely New England. Donnie 55, like many others, I found you in 2016 before the election and just wanted to say appreciate your work, rate, and dedication. Please never stop. Not till I die. That could happen anytime. Dr. Nigsop McChortle, I can't say the last part of your second username segment there. Can we talk about modern expressive sign language interpreters? Do they go to special signing drama schools for maximum emotional effect? Do they practice those faces? It's a mystery. Yeah, keeping up with Biden, I don't know. She should probably have her salary doubled. The Grizzly, holy shit, I just saw the story coming out of Kentucky. You plan on doing a story on that disturbing stuff? Man, that's messed up. I have no clue what you're talking about. It's either something crazy or a meme. Nick's 5 cents. He's going back to funding solar companies. Just look at how many failed during the Obama presidency after Pelosi made a killing in their stock. Yes, like Solyndra. Ted Kaczynski, the down votes went from 1.7K to 1.7K from 2K. Yeah, that happens. Dan Malone, 53, $5. No comment. Thank you very much.
1,000 school buses in America.
Oh, goody. School buses.
Every day, more than 25 million children and thousands of bus drivers breathe polluted air on the way to and from school from the diesel exhaust.
Okay, I'm sorry. I can't listen to the rest of this horse shit. It's just getting a little bit too much for me. Like number one, the number of lies. Number two, he hasn't really talked about much that's actually in the infrastructure bill. We're going to buy more school buses. We're going to keep up the tax credit that Trump pioneered, but I co-opted and nobody questioned me on it. And climate stuff. Okay. Oh, yes, the Kentucky kids giving lap dances to teachers and staffers. Yes, I did see that. I didn't realize that was the Kentucky story. That sounds like it might be a newsworthy. By the way, at peak here, we had almost 12 BLUs, Biden loser units. That's 300 people per BLU. Biden only got 10. So we just eclipsed the president of the United States, so-called, the asterisk administration in terms of live streams. And we didn't get ratioed. Even just on YouTube, we were, drawing even with him. You include Twitch and Odyssey and everything's golden. By the way, there are some Odyssey chats. I'll get to them briefly before I end. Waxing Radiance, pure blood. Yes, I am. I have not been vaccinated and won't be. Gail Dribble, it's pretty sick how they keep putting this geriatric dementia patient up there to read a script. Agreed. Lucas Zapan, my future children will not go to public school. No point. Yes, I would homeschool if I had if I had student children. I'm turning to Biden. Jesus. You listen to him too much, you get all addled in the brain. Vomit terror. Every day is Halloween. I agree. Lucas Zapan, shameless plug for one of my favorite authors, spending $20 on Unscripted, The Great Rat Race Escape from Wage Slavery by M.J. DeMarco, and applying the lessons will make you richer than any college degree ever could. So can the occult. So yes, there's a shout out. Lucas Zapan again, since he was totally eligible to be elected, he should totally not be removed 10 times over already. Go down this line. And my awesome channel. Hey, Sticks, I'm not saying you should be poor, but you should tip some of your LBC to different people. The more the LBC coin moves, the better it is for the LBC economy. You could distribute, say, 3,000 LBC among your followers. Yeah, I don't even exactly know how to do that, but I can, I don't know, I can figure it out probably. Yeah, I share the wealth. Makes sense. Go back to YouTube really quickly, and then no more super chats because we are over 1 hour. The Grizzly, underaged minor high school students giving strip teases to the staff and mayor of Kentucky Town. Salty just did a video about it. Yeah, I'll look into that and see if I can get a video going on it. And final, Smooth Romeo. YouTube hasn't recommended you for the last 2 weeks. Since 2017, I've been subscribed and seen your videos in my recommended. Yeah, that happens all the time. And then 7 Bark, thanks, Sticks. Thank you. And then Kuz, no more super chats, please. Kuz Kalkman, is the EU now completely in Putin's pocket? And will that still give a shit about Ukraine? Just asking because I go there often and next trip hopefully in December. No, it's not in Putin's pocket. People here, like, you know, they don't give a shit. They just want their bitter ballad and their Heineken and stuff. I can get hip to that. So yeah, that's the live stream. I would go through the last few minutes, but we're not going to hear anything new. Quite clearly, and he's been ratioed. Yeah. Oh, that's right. I have to sign. I have to use a different browser in order to actually do the thing. So yeah, I'm going to go off here, and there will be, by the way, for those of you watching at the moment, on Halloween, which is only 3 days away, there will be a multi-hour special Halloween Q&A super chat live stream. It'll be more than Q&A. But it will be there. I might put it on Twitch as well. I know that there won't be super chats, but just so that you can see it, so the stream will be there because it's kind of special. I didn't know that Halloween was going to be on a Sunday this year, and yeah, it's my favorite holiday of the year. Thanksgiving is close because of, you know, eating things, but you can make a feast on Halloween too. I boiled cabbage just the other night. By the way, it came out delicious. I didn't know that I could make proper boiled cabbage that would actually taste good, but I think all of you would scarf it down too. Then you'd shit yourself as much as Joe Biden does on a normal day. That's about all. Peace out.